My child, pause for a moment and listen closely. You were guided to this message on purpose, not by accident or coincidence. Heaven has been trying to reach you, and Archangel Michael is stepping forward with urgency. There is something moving around your life, something that has been hidden in the shadows, and the time has come for it to be revealed. You may not fully understand why your spirit has felt unsettled, why certain names make your chest tighten, or why you sensed a shift in energy even when nothing obvious has changed. But heaven sees what you cannot see, hears what you cannot hear, and knows what hath been plotted in silence. That is why this message is arriving now. It is a divine interruption. There is someone around you close enough to observe you, study you, and watch your moves whose intentions have not been pure. They have smiled in your face while speaking differently behind your back. They have acted supportive while quietly hoping you would fail. They have worn the mask of a friend, a confidant, or an ally, while harboring jealousy, resentment, or quiet hostility in their heart. You may have sensed something was off. You may have questioned your intuition. You may have tried to shrug off strange feelings because you didn't want to assume the worst. But your spirit knew the truth long before your mind could name it. Archangel Michael says you are not imagining the tension. You are not dramatic. You are not paranoid. You are discerning. Your spirit has been alert because heaven has been whispering warnings. You felt drained after certain conversations. You felt uneasy in certain environments. You felt confusion that didn't match the situation. These were clues. These were spiritual signals that a concealed presence around you was not aligned with your highest good. Heaven had been watching, and heaven is stepping in. You have reached a point in your journey where hidden enemies cannot continue unnoticed. The level of purpose you are stepping into, the blessings that are aligning for you, the elevation prepared for your life, these things cannot coexist with deceit, manipulation, or secret opposition. That is why you were drawn to this moment. You needed confirmation that the heaviness you have been feeling has a spiritual root. You needed clarity so you can walk forward protected and aware. You needed heaven to speak because the reveal is near. Archangel Michael stands near you now. His presence is strong, protective, and unwavering. He is drawing a line of divine fire around your life. Anyone who approaches you with masked intentions will not be able to hide much longer. The truth is rising like light breaking through a closed room. What has been concealed will be exposed. What has been whispered in darkness will be brought into the open. The time for pretending is ended. This message is your preparation. You are being told in advance because heaven honors you. You have been faithful, kind-hearted, and patient, even when others did not deserve your loyalty. You have carried yourself with integrity while others carried hidden agendas. But you will not be blindsided. You will not be caught unaware. You will not walk into the next season with blind trust. You are being awakened, sharpened, and protected. My child, stay with this message. Let your spirit stay open. The truth is not being revealed to hurt you but to free you. Archangel Michael is speaking, and what comes next will lift a veil that has been covering your eyes for far too long. My child, you have been walking through a season of emotional turbulence, even if you haven't spoken it aloud. There has been a quiet heaviness resting on your chest, a strange pressure you can't fully explain. Some days you wake up already tired, as if you've been fighting battles in your sleep. Other days you catch yourself overthinking simple moments, replaying conversations that didn't feel right, wondering why your energy shifts so quickly around certain people. These feelings have been dismissed by others, but heaven has not ignored them. What you've been carrying is not random. It came from the presence of someone whose intentions toward you have not been as pure as their words. You have felt it in the confusion that settles in after interacting with certain individuals. You walk away from a conversation feeling drained, second-guessing yourself, doubting your own worth, or questioning your own instincts. This is spiritual tension. When someone with hidden jealousy or disguised hostility comes near, your spirit senses the imbalance even when your mind cannot articulate it. You may have noticed a heaviness in their compliments, a strange tone in their support, or a lack of sincerity in moments where true friends would celebrate you. These are signals. There were times when you felt your intuition trying to speak louder, nudging you to pay attention. You wondered why you suddenly felt guarded around someone who once felt familiar. You wondered why you were hesitant to share your good news with them, or why you sensed a tightening in your stomach when they asked certain questions. The reason is simple. Your spirit saw the truth behind their mask long before your eyes ever could. Heaven has been stirring your awareness, revealing through feeling what had been hidden through behavior. This person, or possibly more than one, has been watching you closely. They have been observing your progress, your favor, your growth, and your potential, not with admiration, but with quiet resentment. They smile when you struggle and sigh when you succeed. They pretend to support you, but internally they fear what your breakthrough will mean for them. Their insecurity has turned into disguise. Their envy has turned into subtle sabotage. Their heart has grown heavy with comparisons they never admit. You have also felt it in the inconsistency of their presence. They appear supportive when it benefits them, but distant when you need them. They are generous with advice, but stingy with encouragement. They ask deep questions, but offer shallow comfort. They show up in moments where your spirit is weak so they can study your vulnerability, yet disappear the moment you find strength again. This pattern has confused you, but heaven is now giving you language for what your spirit already recognized. You may have noticed strange disruptions in your emotional clarity. One moment you feel centered and focused, and the next you feel clouded or unsure. You may have felt anxious for no reason, or drained after interactions that seemed harmless. You may have felt spiritually dull or disconnected in moments when you normally feel strong and intuitive. These shifts are not accidents. Hidden enemies carry energy that clashes with your purpose, and when they approach you, your spirit reacts. There were also moments when your blessings seemed delayed or obstructed. Every time you took 2 steps forward, something pulled you 1 step back. Every time you prepared to make progress, something interfered. The path that once felt clear became fogged. Doors that should have opened felt harder to push through. Opportunities that were meant to flow effortlessly seemed to struggle their way into your life. Hidden enemies often carry the intention of blocking what is meant for you, not through overt actions, but through spiritual interference, emotional manipulation, or subtle negativity that wears down your confidence. And yet, even through all of this, you have remained loving, patient, hopeful, and kind. You continued to give people the benefit of the doubt, even when your intuition warned you. You continued to show compassion, even when others did not deserve your trust. You continued to extend grace, even when people misuse it. Heaven has seen your heart. Your innocence has not made you weak, it has made you favored. Your kindness has not made you blind, it has made you protected. Every moment you chose love instead of suspicion, heaven took note. Every time you stayed true to your character while someone else hid theirs, heaven recorded it. You have endured emotional fatigue because your spirit has been carrying the weight of deceit placed near you. This fatigue was not a sign of you failing, it was a sign of someone else pretending. Your body reacted to the spiritual truth long before your mind could make sense of it. You may have felt headaches, sudden heaviness, or lack of motivation without understanding why. You may have struggled to stay focused or felt unusually sensitive to the energy around you. These experiences were not random moments of weakness. They were symptoms of a deeper spiritual imbalance caused by someone who does not wish to see you rise. All of this has built up inside you, creating a tension that you can no longer ignore. You feel the shift coming. You sense the unraveling of someone's mask. You feel the exposure forming in the air around you. And heaven is confirming through this message that your spirit was right all along. The discomfort you felt was not your imagination. The tension you sensed was not your insecurity. The warning inside you was not fear. It was divine discernment. My child, everything you have felt is leading up to the moment when the hidden enemy will reveal themselves. Heaven is preparing you emotionally so that the truth does not shock you, it frees you. My child, listen with the fullness of your spirit, because what is unfolding around you is not ordinary. Heaven has been trying to get your attention for weeks, perhaps even months. Subtle shifts, intuitive whispers, unexplained moments of clarity, sudden uneasiness around certain people, these were not random. They were the first sparks of divine revelation. Archangel Michael has been standing near you, watching the movements of those around you, shielding you from the impacts of hidden intentions, and guiding your intelligence toward truths you were not yet ready to confront. You sensed something was coming. You felt it like a change in the wind, like a quiet stirring across the atmosphere of your life. This message arrives precisely now because the veil is thinning and the truth is about to break open. There is a reason your dreams have been more vivid, your intuition sharper, your emotions more sensitive. Heaven has been increasing your spiritual awareness so you will be prepared for what is about to be uncovered. A hidden enemy, someone who has watched you with veiled motives, has reached the end of their season of secrecy. Their mask is slipping, not because you confronted them, but because heaven is forcing exposure. When divine light intensifies around your life, anything that thrives in shadows begins to shake. Their actions may become inconsistent, their words may become sloppy, or their behavior may betray their hidden resentment. Heaven reveals not through chaos but through truth rising to the surface. You may notice small hints before the larger revelation. A tone of voice that shifts, a sudden distancing, a comment that feels pointed, a moment of tension that wasn't there before. Pay attention. These are signals that the truth is pushing through. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that this revelation is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to free you. You have been carrying the weight of someone's deception without knowing who placed it upon your shoulders. This has affected your peace, your emotional clarity, and even your energy levels. Hidden enemies drain you not through physical attacks, but through spiritual interference. Your intentions create pressure in the unseen, and your sensitive spirit feels it. That is why heaven is intervening. Your spirit was never meant to carry the burden of someone else's malice in silence. You deserve clarity. You deserve awareness. You deserve freedom from those who smile with their mouths and judge you with their eyes. Heaven is urgently reaching toward you because your next steps require discernment. The blessings preparing to enter your life are significant. Opportunities will emerge. Connections will strengthen. Influence will grow. But with greater elevation comes greater visibility. And with greater visibility comes a need for spiritual protection. You cannot step into your next chapter with someone secretly rooting against you still within reach of your heart. This revelation is not punishment for them. It is protection for you. Everything that threatens your peace, your purpose, or your calling must be exposed before the divine door opens fully. Archangel Michael is removing hidden stumbling blocks so your path will be cleared. You have likely felt moments recently where your emotions did not match your circumstances. You felt overwhelmed when nothing was wrong. You felt uncertain when everything was stable. You felt spiritually off balance for reasons you couldn't identify. Heaven had been stirring your awareness, softening the soil of your intuition, preparing your spirit to receive this revelation without collapsing under its weight. Some truths are too heavy to handle without divine preparation, but you have reached the level of strength required to see clearly. The discomfort you felt was the stretching of your discernment, a divine preparation for the unveiling that is coming. Archangel Michael has been walking beside you, observing the hidden enemy's intentions long before they tried to act on them. Heaven does not reveal out of impulse. Heaven reveals when revelation becomes necessary for your protection and your progress. If this person were allowed to stay hidden any longer, they could interrupt what heaven is placing in your hands. Their jealousy could poison your blessings. Their manipulation could disrupt your peace. Their proximity could contaminate your growth. That is why heaven has decided that the time for exposure is now. The moment of revelation is aligned. The timing is precise. And the spiritual urgency you feel is heaven signaling that truth is already rising to the surface. You may experience signs leading up to the moment of exposure. Conversations may grow tense. Your support may disappear. Their energy may shift. They may react strangely to your success. They may show irritation at your happiness. They may slip with their words or reveal more than they intended. These moments are not coincidences. They are cracks in the mask. Archangel Michael is orchestrating these cracks so that you may see clearly. The truth will not come through anger or confrontation. It will come through clarity. Heaven reveals gently but undeniably. When the moment arrives, you will not doubt what you see. You will not question your intuition. You will not feel confused. The truth will appear as if a light has been turned on in a previously dark room. My child, heaven is calling you into awareness, not fear. You are being asked to stay present, to stay open, to trust the stirring in your spirit. Something hidden has already begun to surface. Prepare your heart. The revelation will not harm you. It will free you. Archangel Michael stands ready, and the truth is already unfolding. My child, think back over the path you have walked to reach this moment. You have endured seasons that felt heavier than anything you were prepared for, and many of those battles were not caused by open enemies, but by hidden ones. You faced storms that did not announce themselves. You felt pain that had no clear source. You experienced losses that seemed to come without warning. These were not random hardships. They were the results of pressures created by people who kept their intentions concealed behind gentle voices and pleasant expressions. They smiled at you while silently resenting your light. They supported you publicly while doubting you privately. Their presence created friction in your spirit long before your mind could understand why. There were times when you felt a strange sense of resistance in your life, as if something invisible was pushing against your progress. You worked hard, prayed faithfully, tried to stay positive, yet nothing moved as it should have. Every step forward seemed to come with unexpected setbacks. Every new beginning felt threatened by unexplained tension. At the time, you blamed yourself for circumstances, but heaven saw the truth. Someone nearby was sowing seeds of doubt, gossip, negativity, or silent judgment into the atmosphere around you. Your spirit felt the effects even when your eyes saw nothing. You have endured betrayal, though you did not always recognize it as betrayal. Some people acted as though they cared for you, yet their actions or words behind closed doors caused damage that never reached your ears. Heaven heard every whisper that tried to dim your name. Heaven saw at every moment when someone twisted your intentions or misrepresented your character. These wounds left imprints on your heart, even if you didn't know exactly where they came from. The heaviness, the insecurity, The self-doubt that suddenly washed over you during certain seasons were often reflections of energies others projected toward you. You absorbed what was never yours to carry. There were relationships that changed without explanation. People who once seemed close grew cold, distant, or indifferent. You felt abandoned or rejected, wondering what you did wrong. But the truth is that hidden enemies often reveal themselves through withdrawal. When someone who once found comfort in your struggles begins to feel threatened by your growth, their behavior shifts. They retreat because the version of you they could manipulate or stand above is no longer the version standing before them. Heaven allowed those people to fade because their loyalty was never genuine. Their departure protected you from deeper harm. You also experienced moments when your spirit felt drained, not from physical exhaustion but from emotional and spiritual depletion. You were giving more energy than you received. You were offering kindness, encouragement, and support to people who quietly envied the very strength you were using to uplift them. You poured into others who secretly resented the light you carried. When you shared your dreams, some smiled while silently hoping you would fail so they wouldn't feel left behind. When you celebrated your progress, some congratulated you while feeling threatened by your growth. These contradictions weighed heavily on you, creating confusion that you never fully understood. There were times when opportunities slipped away in strange ways, not because you lacked talent or effort, but because someone in your environment carried intentions that did not align with your success. Negativity from hidden enemies can create spiritual interference. Their jealousy forms an atmosphere of resistance. Their doubt sends a shadow into spaces where your blessings were meant to flourish. Heaven witnessed these subtle forms of sabotage, even when you did. Heaven saw the conversations you were not present for. Heaven heard the tone in someone's voice when they mentioned your name. Heaven observed the shift in their energy each time your life started to rise. You have also wrestled with internal battles that were intensified by the pressure these hidden enemies projected onto your spirit. You questioned your worth. You questioned your path. You questioned your timing. You wondered why certain relationships never felt fully safe or why certain people made you feel small without ever saying anything harsh out loud. The truth is that your spirit sensed the misalignment. You walked on spiritual eggshells because something in you knew that not everyone around you wanted the best for you. That internal tension was never your weakness. It was your discernment trying to speak. There were seasons when your prayers felt unanswered, not because heaven was silent, but because someone near you was interfering with the clarity of your spiritual connection. Their presence clouded your intuition, dulled your peace, or created emotional noise that made it harder to hear the whisper of divine guidance. The hidden enemies create spiritual clutter. They disrupt your focus. They distract your heart. They make you question what is obvious. Heaven has been clearing these distractions one by one so you can finally hear the truth without interference. You also encountered cycles, patterns that repeated in your life without a clear explanation. Moments of progress followed by sudden collapse. New friendships that quickly soured. Trust that felt misplaced. Opportunities that almost manifested, but slipped away in the final moment. These patterns were not coincidences. They were signs of spiritual warfare influenced by people who claimed to care about you while quietly harboring negative intentions. When someone close to you carries resentment, envy, or deceit, their energy can influence the flow of blessings around you. Heaven did not allow you to remain stuck in these cycles forever. The exposure that is coming is heaven's way of breaking the pattern permanently. And yet, through every struggle, every moment of confusion, every hidden attack, you continued to rise. You continued to love. You continued to believe. Your resilience became your shield. Your purity became your protection. Your sincerity became your strength. Heaven watched you navigate a battlefield without knowing where the arrows were coming from. Heaven saw your tears, your prayers, your fears, your strength. Each step you took was witnessed. Each wound you carried was acknowledged. Nothing was lost. Nothing was wasted. Now, heaven is calling an end to these hidden struggles. The truth is ready to emerge. The person who operated in shadows is being pushed into the light. Everything you have endured has prepared you for this moment. You will not break. You will not crumble. You will rise with clarity, strength, and divine protection. My child, the revelation that heaven is delivering over your life right now is one of the most significant you have ever received. What has been hidden in the shadows around you is finally being forced into the light, and Archangel Michael is stepping forward to guide you through this unveiling with clarity and divine protection. This is not merely about identifying a person with wrong intentions. It is about revealing the spiritual dynamics at play, the motives behind their behavior, the timing of heaven's intervention, and the deeper purpose behind this exposure. Heaven does not reveal without reason. The truth that is emerging is connected to your elevation, your healing, and the freedom you need to step into the next chapter of your destiny. You must understand that some enemies do not appear as enemies. They come wrapped in familiar voices, familiar faces, familiar gestures. They do not strike openly, because open attacks would be too easy for your spirit to recognize. Instead, they operate quietly, through subtle words, hidden intentions, or disguised energy. They watch you with eyes that pretend admiration but hide resentment. They smile at you with warmth that covers jealousy. They walk beside you as if they are companions but carry motives that contradict the path you are on. These are the most dangerous enemies, not because they are powerful, but because they go unnoticed. Their proximity gives them access to your vulnerabilities, your ideas, your dreams, and your emotional energy. Heaven has been watching this person closely. They have been given many opportunities to purify their intentions, to release their jealousy, to confront their insecurities, or to correct their behavior. But instead of softening, their heart hardened. Instead of healing, they hid. Instead of stepping into truth, they sank deeper into envy and resentment. They saw your progress, your growth, your resilience, and instead of celebrating it, they felt threatened by it. They saw your blessings as evidence of their lack. They interpreted your elevation as a reminder of their stagnation. Their spirit chose comparison over appreciation, competition over love, and secrecy over honesty. This is why heaven can no longer allow them to remain hidden. Their exposure is not punishment. It is revelation. Heaven reveals what threatens purpose. Heaven uncovers what blocks blessings. Heaven brings to light what has been slowly draining your spiritual strength. The mask this person has used is not being torn off by human confrontation. It is being lifted by divine light. And once divine light touches something, it cannot remain concealed. Your own actions will expose them. Their own words will betray their motives. Your own inconsistencies will reveal the truth. You will not need to investigate, chase answers, or force clarity. Heaven has already set the stage for truth to rise, naturally and undeniably. Archangel Michael wants you to understand the spiritual dynamics behind this exposure. Hidden enemies attach themselves to people with purpose. They sense the favor on your life even when you do not. They see the glow of your calling even when you feel dim. They perceive the blessings align for your future even before they fully manifest. Your spirit irritates their insecurities. Your progress triggers their jealousy. Your kindness magnifies their lack of sincerity. Your resilience frustrates their attempts to feel superior. They do not dislike you because of something you did. They dislike you because of the light you carry. They recognize the greatness within you, even when you underestimate it yourself. Heaven reveals this enemy now because your season is shifting. You are moving toward higher levels of purpose, influence, authority, and spiritual clarity. What awaits you requires a purified environment. You cannot take polluted intentions into a season of divine blessing. You cannot carry dead weight into a season of acceleration. You cannot trust everyone with the dreams that heaven is about to birth through you. Some people were tolerated in your past because their presence did not threaten your future at the time, but now the stakes have changed. The next chapter of your life requires different spiritual company. Anyone who cannot celebrate you wholeheartedly cannot go with you. Anyone who secretly wishes for your downfall cannot stand beside you. Anyone who resents your calling cannot support your destiny. You may wonder why heaven allowed this person to remain near you for as long as they did. The answer is simple. Your presence served a purpose. They were a mirror for your growth. They were a lesson in discernment. They were a teacher in disguise, showing you how to listen to your intuition, how to guard your heart, how to recognize subtle spiritual imbalances. Their presence hardened your spiritual muscles. Their energy sharpened your awareness. Their hidden intentions forced you to rely more on divine guidance than on human appearances. You learned how to sense truth beneath kindness, how to recognize loyalty beneath words, how to trust the whisper of your spirit even when someone's smile seemed convincing. This season taught you discernment you did not know you needed. And now, the assignment they unknowingly fulfilled is complete. The exposure will also reveal how much heaven has been protecting you. There were moments when their plans failed without you even knowing there were plans against you. There were conversations where your name came up, but heaven shielded your reputation. There were attempts to influence how others saw you, but heaven blocked their words. There were intentions to discourage you or shake your confidence, but heaven intercepted the attack before it reached your heart. You were never unprotected. Heaven stood between you and every silent weapon formed against you. My child, you must understand that the exposure of this hidden enemy is not simply a moment of truth. It is a turning point in your spiritual journey. Your reveal marks the end of a cycle that has drained you longer than you realize. Heaven is not simply exposing a person. Heaven is exposing a pattern. You have attracted people whose admiration masked insecurity, whose closeness masked comparison, whose support masked resentment. This type of energy has followed you in previous seasons, showing up in different faces, different names, and different environments. Each time it wounded you in ways your spirit struggled to articulate. Each time it left a residue of confusion, mistrust, and emotional exhaustion. This exposure is heaven breaking the cycle permanently. There are things you lost in past seasons because a hidden enemy whispered doubt into your heart. They discouraged you by planting fears disguised as concern. They manipulated your emotions subtly enough that you questioned your own decisions. They minimized your joy so they could feel more comfortable with their own unhappiness. They influenced your perception of yourself by projecting their insecurities onto you. Heaven sees all of this, and heaven is restoring everything that their presence disrupted. You will regain confidence you lost. You will regain clarity that was clouded. You will regain the motivation that was drained. You will regain dreams that were postponed. This revelation is the beginning of your restoration. This exposure is also happening because heaven hath been preparing a blessing that requires your full awareness and protection. You are stepping into a season where opportunities will come quickly, where growth will accelerate, where breakthroughs will unfold with unexpected speed. But if a hidden enemy remained close to you during this season, they would sabotage what is meant for you, perhaps not deliberately, but through their envy, their complaints, their negative projections, or their spiritual heaviness. Heaven will not allow them to poison the atmosphere around your blessing. This reveal is a cleansing. It is heaven clearing your environment before pouring new oil over your life. You may be wondering how the reveal will happen. Archangel Michael is making the process gentle but undeniable. The truth will come through slips in their behavior. Their mask may crack during a conversation when their real feelings leak through. They may react poorly to your success. They may pull away when you share something positive. They may grow irritated with your joy. They may make a comment that exposes jealousy. They may show frustration when you receive good news. Or they may distance themselves entirely because the light around you becomes too intense for their hidden intentions to survive. Exposure does not always come through confrontation. Sometimes it comes through silence, distance, or behaviors that no longer fit the mask they once wore with ease. You must also understand that heaven is not exposing this person to create chaos. Heaven is exposing them to grant you clarity. Once the truth is revealed, you will not need to force closure or seek revenge. You will not need to explain yourself or justify your decisions. Heaven is handling the injustice on your behalf. Archangel Michael stands with his sword drawn, severing the spiritual ties that allowed this person to remain close enough to drain you. Heaven does not want you to carry resentment or bitterness. Heaven wants you to walk forward with wisdom and freedom. This revelation will also deepen your understanding of your own intuition. You will realize that the discomfort you felt was divine guidance speaking to you. You will begin trusting yourself in ways you never have before. You will stop doubting your insights. You will stop shrinking your discernment to protect someone else's feelings. You will no longer override your instincts just to maintain peace. Exposure teaches spiritual self-respect. It teaches you to honor the truth your spirit speaks even when your mind wants to offer excuses for someone's behavior. As this hidden enemy reveals themselves, heaven will also highlight the people who truly belong in your next chapter. The exposure of one wrong person always illuminates the right ones. You will begin to notice who supports you consistently, who celebrates you sincerely, who encourages you authentically. Your relationships will become clearer. Your circle will become purer. Your connections will become healthier. Heaven is not just removing. Heaven is refining. Heaven is preparing to bring people into your life who will stand with you rather than compete with you, who will uplift you rather than drain you, who will grow with you rather than envy you. There is also a prophetic reason why this exposure is happening now. Your destiny contains influence. You carry a calling that impacts others. Your voice, your work, your presence, your spiritual sensitivity, these are not small things. They carry weight in the spirit realm. Hidden enemies attach themselves to people with such assignments because they fear being overshadowed. They fear being left behind. They fear being irrelevant in your rising season. Heaven is protecting your calling by removing those who cannot handle the magnitude of your purpose. This is spiritual strategy, not emotional conflict. Your hidden enemy may believe they concealed their intentions well, but heaven sees every thought, every motive, every word spoken in private. The exposure coming is not random. It is divine justice. It is the alignment of spiritual balance. It is heaven positioning you for your next level with complete purity around you. Nothing can remain hidden when the season of revelation arrives. Their actions will speak. Their energy will shift. Their truth will surface. You will not need proof. You will simply know. Heaven will open your eyes. My child, as the unveiling approaches, you may feel a mixture of emotions. You may feel relief because the tension you sensed will finally make sense. You may feel sadness because betrayal, even in subtle forms, can sting the heart. You may feel anger because you trusted someone who carried intentions that did not match their words. But above all of this, you will feel clarity. You will feel lightness. You will feel freedom. Heaven is not exposing this person to harm you emotionally, but to remove the fog that has lingered too long in your spirit. What you are about to see will bring understanding, closure, and peace. Once the truth comes forward, you will begin to recognize how many areas of your life were influenced by their hidden intentions. You will see moments where your confidence suddenly dropped without explanation, and you will realize it was their energy overshadowing your light. You will recall decisions you hesitated to make and recognize that their doubt blended with your spirit. You will remember ideas you abandoned and understand that their jealousy interfered with your motivation. You will look back at times you felt spiritually disconnected and see that their negative presence made it harder for you to hear divine guidance. This exposure will retroactively heal past hurts by giving you the truth that was missing. Heaven wants you to understand that this reveal is not about punishing them. It is about protecting you. Your next chapter requires mental clarity, emotional purity, and spiritual strength. You cannot carry the weight of someone else's insecurities into a season where you are meant to soar. Hidden enemies limit elevation, not because they have power over you, but because their presence subtly influences how you see yourself. Their envy targets your confidence. Their manipulation targets your clarity. Their resentment targets your joy. When heaven removes such people, it is a sign that you are about to rise higher than you ever have before. The very fact that exposure is coming means your breakthrough is near. There is also divine justice in this moment. The same way their hidden intentions affected your peace, your joy, and your progress, heaven will allow the consequences of their energy to return to them. Not through destructive punishment, but through spiritual reflection. When someone chooses jealousy over growth, they will face the emptiness that jealousy creates. When someone chooses deceit over honesty, they will face the instability that deceit breeds. When someone chooses resentment instead of healing, they will feel the weight of carrying what they refuse to release. You do not have to seek justice. Heaven is already balancing the scales. Once the revelation unfolds, you will gain new strength. You will walk with deeper discernment. You will trust your inner voice more. You will rely more heavily on spiritual insight. You will become more selective with your energy, your time, and your vulnerability. You will no longer apologize for distancing yourself from people who make your spirit uneasy. You will no longer carry guilt for protecting your peace. You will begin to understand that your intuition is one of the greatest gifts heaven gave you. This season will mature your spirit in ways that prepare you for the blessings ahead. There is a powerful shift coming. After the exposure, new opportunities will begin to open. Ideas will return with clarity. Motivation will rise within you again. Confidence will come back stronger than before. People aligned with your purpose will enter your life. Conversations will become lighter. Your emotional space will expand. Your spiritual senses will sharpen. It will feel as though a heaviness has lifted from your shoulders, and you will wonder how you ever carried it for so long. This is the result of removing a hidden enemy who drained you silently. Archangel Michael wants you to know that the reveal is not something you must fear. It will come with peace. It will come with divine timing. It will come in a way that strengthens you rather than breaks you. When the moment arrives, you will feel a sense of calm, as if your spirit has finally exhaled after holding its breath for too long. You will not feel lost. You will feel awakened. You will not feel confused. You will feel aligned. You will not feel abandoned. You will feel protected. Heaven has already prepared your heart. And after the reveal, you will walk forward with greater purpose. You will understand why the season felt heavy, why certain relationships felt uncertain, why your spirit felt restless. You will see that heaven was guiding you, warning you, and preparing you for this moment long before you realized what was happening. You were never walking blindly. You were walking under divine watch. The truth is rising now, not to harm you, but to free you. You are stepping into a chapter where hidden enemies cannot follow, where clarity empowers you, where your spirit stands guarded by divine protection. My child, the reveal is near. The mask is slipping. The truth is coming into the open. And when it does, you will finally understand why heaven brought you to this message today. You are protected. You are guided. You are covered. The hidden enemy will reveal themselves, and you will rise stronger because of it. My child, do not move away from this moment. Heaven is watching the posture of your spirit as this message reaches the deepest parts of your awareness. When Archangel Michael speaks, it is never casual. It is never accidental. It is always purposeful, intentional, and aligned with divine timing. You are being invited into spiritual alignment, and that invitation requires your participation. What is being revealed to you is not only information, it is protection. And protection becomes stronger when you acknowledge the truth that is being placed before you. Heaven needs your awareness to meet this moment with openness rather than avoidance. This is not a time to scroll away or distract yourself. This is a time to stay present in the unfolding of revelation. Something powerful happens when your spirit agrees with what heaven is showing you. Awareness closes the door that hidden enemies once used to enter your life unnoticed. Awareness strengthens your discernment. Awareness opens your eyes to what your intuition has been trying to tell you. If you passively drift away from this moment, you risk delaying the clarity that has been prepared for you. Heaven will not allow you to miss your protection, but your readiness determines how quickly that protection takes effect. This is why you feel a pull in your spirit, a heaviness that insists you stay, listen, and receive. The pull is not anxiety. It is divine urgency. You may feel emotional as you sit with these words. You may feel a tightening in your chest, or a softness behind your eyes, or an inner trembling you cannot fully explain. These sensations are not signs of fear. They are signs that your spirit recognizes truth. Heaven often speaks in ways that bypass the mind and awaken the deeper parts of you. When something in your spirit stirs, it is confirmation that heaven has touched a place within you that needs healing, clarity, or protection. The stirring is a sign that your spirit is ready to receive, even if your mind is still processing what is being revealed. There is a spiritual test unfolding in this moment, not a test designed to harm you, but a test designed to measure your readiness for the elevation that is coming. Heaven is watching whether you choose to lean into clarity or retreat into comfort. Hidden enemies thrive in your silence, in your avoidance, in your uncertainty. They thrive when you doubt yourself, when you question your intuition, when you minimize your discomfort for the sake of maintaining peace. But heaven is breaking that pattern now. You are being called to choose awareness over denial, discernment over convenience, and truth over illusion. This choice is not loud. It is quiet and internal. But heaven sees it clearly. Your response matters because revelation requires agreement. You must acknowledge that what your spirit has been sensing is real. You must accept that the discomfort was not your imagination. You must embrace the truth that heaven is unveiling for your protection. If you reject or ignore this moment, the hidden enemy may linger longer than necessary. But if you accept and align, heaven will move swiftly to bring the full truth forward. This is not about fear. It is about cooperation with divine timing. Archangel Michael stands ready to shield you fully, but heaven always honors human choice. You are being encouraged to stay in this moment until your spirit feels settled. Do not rush away. Do not shut down what is being awakened inside you. Do not minimize the intuition that has been speaking. What happens next in your life depends on how present you remain in this revelation. Heaven is ready to reveal the truth, but you must be ready to receive it. This is the activation point. This is the turning of the key. This is the spiritual alignment that opens the pathway to exposure, protection, and freedom. My child, do not scroll. Do not dismiss. Do not doubt. Receive what heaven is speaking, because your awareness is part of the shield being placed over you. Heaven is waiting for your heart to say yes. My child, if this message has reached into the quiet corners of your heart, then you already sense that something sacred is unfolding. What you have heard is not meant to sit passively within you. It is meant to activate something powerful in your spirit. There is a shift happening around your life, and heaven is inviting you to participate in that shift through the words you release into the atmosphere. Your declaration is not for the sake of being seen. It is not for the sake of performing or proving anything to anyone. Your declaration is a spiritual agreement, a signal to heaven that you are ready to align with the protection and clarity being placed over your life. You must understand that heaven responds to attention, but heaven also responds to spoken faith. There is authority in your voice. There is power in your agreement. When you declare truth out loud, you dismantle the influence of hidden enemies and strengthen the covering that Archangel Michael has placed around you. Your voice becomes a barrier. Your words become light. Your declaration becomes a spiritual stamp that tells heaven you are not merely listening, you are receiving, accepting, and standing in alignment with what has been spoken over your life. This is why your participation matters. Your words activate what your spirit is ready for. Throughout your life, you have spoken many words out of fear, uncertainty, or doubt. You have declared worry without realizing it. You have verbalized insecurity without understanding its spiritual effect. But now heaven is shifting you into a new posture, one where your words will carry strength, clarity, and divine authority. When you say things like "I am protected," "I am covered," or expose every hidden enemy, you are not reciting empty statements. You are releasing spiritual commands that echo in the unseen realms. Hidden enemies cannot withstand the power of a soul that stands in verbal agreement with heaven. Your declarations weaken their influence and strengthen your protection. There is something deeply sacred about choosing to speak truth even when your emotions feel uncertain. Heaven sees that as courage. Heaven sees that as faith. Heaven responds to that kind of boldness with immediate movement. When you speak words of alignment, heaven arranges your environment to match your declaration. This is why it is important that you do not remain silent in this moment. Silence allows confusion to linger. Silence leaves space for doubt. Silence gives hidden enemies room to operate. But a declaration closes those openings. Your voice seals your spirit. Your words create a barrier that darkness cannot cross. Your declaration also helps to shift your internal landscape. When you speak alignment, your mind begins to follow your spirit. Clarity strengthens. Fear weakens. Intuition sharpens. You begin to feel grounded again. You begin to feel supported again. You begin to feel the presence of divine protection moving around you. Heaven uses your voice to awaken parts of you that have been quiet for too long. This is why the call to speak is so important. Your voice is not simply sound. It is spiritual activation. It is the key that unlocks the protection that has been waiting for your agreement. My child, if your spirit feels touched, if your heart is pounding, if your emotions feel stirred, Then let your words rise with honesty and faith. Speak what your soul knows is true. Say, I am protected. Say, I am covered. Say, expose every hidden enemy. Say whatever aligns with the truth heaven has revealed to you, and do not hesitate. Heaven is listening to the sound of your agreement. Your declaration is the final step in sealing the protection Archangel Michael has placed over your life. Let your voice become your shield. Let your words become your strength. Let your declaration become the moment heaven sees your courage and responds with power. My child, take a breath now, because what heaven is placing over your life in this moment is peace. You have walked through a long season of uncertainty, confusion, and spiritual heaviness. You have carried questions that had no answers, and you have endured pressures that you could not fully name. But now you are stepping into a chapter where clarity replaces confusion, where protection replaces vulnerability, and where truth replaces the shadows that have lingered around you. What has been hidden is coming to light, not to wound you, but to free you from everything that has quietly held your spirit down. The shift you have been sensing is real, and heaven is guiding you through it with tenderness and strength. You may feel the weight of this revelation, but you are not meant to carry it alone. Archangel Michael stands beside you, surrounding your life with a shield of divine authority. His presence does not remove every challenge, but it ensures that you are never unprotected as you walk through them. He is guiding your steps, clearing your path, and severing the unseen ties that once allowed hidden enemies to influence your peace. You are not entering this new season weak or uncertain. You are entering it covered, guarded, and supported by heaven's highest protection. Every step you take from this moment forward is watched over with intentional grace. When the truth reveals itself, do not fear the change it brings. Exposure will shift relationships, adjust connections, and reshape the landscape of your life. But these changes are not losses. They are alignments. Anyone who exits your life after this revelation was never meant to stay for the blessings coming next. Anyone who remains will do so because their heart aligns with yours in truth and sincerity. You will not walk alone. Heaven will bring new people, new allies, and new support that fit the version of you that is rising. You will be surrounded by those who appreciate your spirit rather than envy it, who celebrate your growth rather than fear it, who uplift your purpose rather than compete with it. As this chapter unfolds, you will begin to feel lighter. Your mind will grow clearer. Your heart will experience peace in places where tension once lived. You will no longer feel the strange emotional pressure that followed you through past seasons. You will wake with a renewed sense of direction, and you will feel spiritually grounded in ways you have not felt for a long time. This is the evidence of heaven's protection taking root in your life. The atmosphere around you is changing, and your spirit will feel the difference. What once overwhelmed you will no longer have access to your energy. What once confused you will no longer cloud your discernment. What once drained you will no longer reach your inner world. My child, the season of hidden enemies is ending. The season of revelation is beginning. And following that, the season of elevation will unfold with power and grace. You are being prepared for blessings that were delayed only because heaven would not allow your next chapter to be polluted by wrong intentions. Now that the truth is rising, your path is being cleared. You will move forward without the weight of false connections or hidden resentment. You are stepping into a future where your spirit is free, your heart is protected, and your purpose is supported by heaven itself. Walk forward now with confidence. You are not unguarded. You are not alone. You are not stepping into the unknown without help. Archangel Michael is with you. Heaven is with you. Your path is watched over. Your spirit is covered. Your steps are guided. And the truth that is about to be revealed will not break you, it will build you. It will strengthen you. It will free you. It will align you with everything heaven has prepared. My child, you are protected. You are chosen. And you are ready for what comes next. My child, before you leave this sacred moment, hear this. If something in your spirit awakened while listening, if you felt clarity, peace, or a divine pull, then respond with intention right now. First, subscribe. This is not just a click, it is your agreement to stay connected to every message heaven prepares for you. Next, tap like. Let it be your sign to heaven that you receive the blessing spoken over you today. Then, comment. Write even a single word such as I receive or Amen. Your voice activates what your spirit has accepted. And finally, share this message. Let it reach the person heaven is trying to guide through you. Someone needs this, and you might be the one chosen to deliver it. Subscribe, like, comment, share. Seal this moment, my child. Let heaven see your agreement.